Dungeons and Dragons ride!
Hi there, I'm Lee Binding. I played Sheila in the show. And with me are my friends...
Faye, Keenan.
James Etok.
I
played Uni.
He was Uni. Actually, no, I'm sort of responsible for the DVDs. And we're here for The Girl Who Dreamt of Tomorrow.
Barbarian, magician, thief, cavalier, and acrobat.
Who was that?
That was Venger, the force of evil. I am Dungeon Master, your guide in the realm of Dungeons and Dragons.
So yeah, The Girl Who Dreams. Again, I've got to say this every time. One of my favourite episodes, with a great start to the episode.
This one just looks very beautiful as well.
Yeah, it's one of these ones where the animation throughout the whole episode is really consistently good, very good. You've got to love it. And the music is it's almost like sideshow music, very comical.
Oh, the Bullywugs.
The Bullywugs.
Did these come back?
They do appear in a few episodes. I don't think they come back in this one though.
There's a lot of creatures who look like almost like the creatures that are in Beauty and the Bog, Beauty and the Bog Beast. They're kind of similar. Now, you see the one with the pointy hat? He's the leader. He's got his leader hat on.
What's he found?
It's a great start.
It's a Dungeons and Dragons ride!
Maybe it'll take us home!
It's a good start to the episode because suddenly they're like questioning what there's a roller coaster there, so it's immediately you think, oh, interesting story.
There's a very...
This is such a great. I love it.
Filthy barbarians.
Watch it, Eric. That's my nickname.
Oh, please forgive me, Sir Bobby.
Oh, Eric exercising beautiful sarcasm
That's
there.
right. Yeah.
I've had a bad day, bad year.
So that's his leadership skills. He can tell you where everybody is. Leader Bullywug.
As this episode goes on now, I mean, you'll just see it's such a just crisp looking episode in terms of just the drawings and great directorial scenes. This episode was storyboarded by Bob Klein, who actually storyboarded the He-Man transformation sequence back in later. Look at this great backlight there.
Also, the dog's looking pretty
Yeah,
ferocious.
the
as well.
dog looks like it's going to
Freddy.
kick some backside. Freddy the dog.
And the kind of music here, they cut to the romantic music in this very dangerous
That's
situation.
right. I love Eric in this whole scene. It's just great. It's like lots of going back and forth. Eric popping up, just addressing the audience. But what happens to Eric soon is I just find it hilarious.
A word, Presto did something right.
Yeah, that's
I'm assured. Am I assured, Mr. Binding, that there might be some storyboards that you can find that were from The Girl Who Dreamed Tomorrow.
Hopefully
And,
on the DVD.
yes.
And if you check those out, there's some really good artwork on
Here
the
we go.
likes of the girls. The girls made to look very cute on them.
Look at this. I love his
Oh,
face.
that's so
Pure
good.
anime, like boom.
Uh-oh.
That's good animation for it. The way they draw it. And the thing is, usually in animation, it very rarely follows the storyboards. With this, it's an exception. I've seen the storyboards for the Time Lost, and it's very rare. Oh, look at this. They take him that way, the lizard men take him that way. And there's a great scene, if you watch, Eric's just tumbling on top. Watch him. Blue, 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 there he goes.
Give him
And
the bump.
Sheila just kind of steps in with this very quiet, right, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to go and get him now from all these people that are trying to beat him up.
That lizard man thinks that the lead bully will give him a pat on the bum.
I just love the way Bobby's face like, oh, bro.
Uh-oh.
This is often referred to as one of the best episodes.
Yeah, yeah.
What's
yeah.
the reason behind that?
It's just, I think because a lot of people consider, as you'll see towards the end, it actually is alluded that they will get home. And I think a lot of people who watched the show as a kid will remember it. It's like, I'm sure they got home in that episode. It's like, no, they're going to, but not yet.
Yeah, it gives you a sort of sense of partial closure.
That's right,
because
yeah,
you know
that's
eventually
right, yeah.
it's going to happen.
That's right. It's the only episode to really do that. You go, oh, because you see a scene from the future, but we'll come up to that.
Yeah. I love this scene because it's just so calm, and you get to the communication, interaction, dialogue is just brilliant.
That's right. Eric sort of like just on his own kind of thing, facing the other direction, and only sees Dungeon Master. It's a nice reaction.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who will buy this, and probably the last time they saw it was when it was like on the BBC, and they're thinking, well, did they get home? And you'll see through the course of watching the rest of the episodes, not just the ones that we're providing commentary for, you'll find out. But, this one's the one that kind of gives you the most promise that they'll eventually get back.
Yes.
That's right. They're going to get home. No worries. It's just really nice lighting around this scene as well. Great atmosphere.
And if we destroy it,
Eric's-
it can't get us home.
Eric's still mocking the big DM. He's not happy.
You've got this lovely division as well between Sheila, who's sort of mothering and looking after
That's-
Terry,
yeah.
and then you have the conversation come up between Hank and Diana, saying, you thinking what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And they're two very defined leadership roles of the group, and Eric just being Eric.
Eric's just acting like Eric.
We'll get the kid home.
So the writer for this episode, does he do any more?
Carl Gers. Well, I can't recall. Yes, he did. He did write other episodes of the series, but he was mainly working as the producer of the series.
They defeated the Bullywugs and my lizard men? They must have fought well.
Yes, Avenger, but they fought with
Okay, here we get Avenger again. Now we noticed on later episodes that every time he appears, he's in a different house. What is that?
What's all
What's
that
going on
about?
here?
I like to think that part of it is he just conquers a valley or a village and just decides, I'm taking your biggest castle. And here,
This is good. This dream
Yeah, yeah.
sequence.
Maybe
It's
his
fantastic.
estate agents were aligning people.
The lighting.
More good
is
effects.
just Fantastic.
The wind always expensive to win.
That's right. But there's wind.
Wake up.
There's a strange temple, that
And
pyramid.
The
It's
locket
just-
glowing show that's just dreaming.
It's
and-
just good. It's just it's kind of creepy, this scene. 'Cause you think, oh, they're actually they're going to do it, and then suddenly, I think, is it Venger pops up in his form of the spider. Oh, it's just
Yeah.
Venger.
No, that'll be later in the episode when they'll have a battle
Oh,
with
you've
the
spoiled
giant
it
spider.
again.
Oh no, it's the dragon.
There's the Hydra thing.
yeah. Oh, donk. Watch out for the wall. Run.
Is it all the same composers then?
Yeah, I
Johnny
think.
Douglas, I
There you
believe,
go.
is the name. Just
Oh.
seen the credits. Who recently died? He only died last year. He was I believe he was English, and he worked as a prominent composer for a lot of these cartoons.
This Eric just being very, very negative and grumpy.
I'm like, you shut up. Bobby's giving him a mouthful there.
Let's get back to sleep, okay?
I think that it's beautifully played between Terry and Bobby. That earlier kind of, we'll get
That's
the kid
right,
home.
we'll get the kid
and,
home.
Yeah, it's very kind of just a little childish romance.
That's right, yeah.
Self-conscious stuff. And
This is an interesting scene coming up.
Hey, you guys, breakfast on
He
the
gets
way.
Eric once again gets really animated. He's crouched down here, almost like a yoga-ish kind of position. And if you look at his face, it's a very anime one take kind of thing. Is he coming up? This is it. Yeah, this is it. Yeah.
menu? Stinkweed stew?
He talks like out the corner of his mouth, which is like a staple of good animation. Here it
Chicken!
is. Lizards.
Lizards?
This is like, it's a pretty much a throwaway scene, but it's obviously what they're going for is building the character, these two.
The
So
relationship.
Dude!
yeah.
They get thrown off.
And maybe it's just me, but if I'd just been thrown from my steed, I don't think I'd be laughing too much about it.
It's flowers.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
nice and
landing
soft,
flowers.
nice
That's
soft landing.
romance.
Mate, yeah.
No, I just.
It does sort of reinforce the idea that they're children and they're just having a lovely
Innocent,
time,
quite
and
soon.
the
And
innocence of it
Eric's
all.
sort of like the one to bring it down. He's like,
I think that
there's a
the,
great take here on Eric, a one take as they call it.
I think that the
some
flowers
bump.
bloom in laughing gas.
And obviously,
Hooray! Kill it!
Yes.
and
That's the
obviously
dragon we saw from the dream.
that's right. And Terry, having seen the dream, he's like defiant. She's like going to go and attack it. Oof! He felt that.
And Hank tries to save the day.
The dragon with its green mouth that looks like it's been drinking Kool-Aid.
Eric's
Wine
saving the day.
variety.
That's the thing. I always like it when Eric's heroic. So everybody's like, "What are you doing, Eric?" And he's like, "I don't know." This is a strange scene. It's is it Bobby's solution to the look? I'm going to hit the massive cavern we're under. It's like not wise because look from the exposition shot. Surely they're crushed.
Yeah.
Or at least drowned.
The end.
And they never got.
They never got. There's a nice, great bit of sarcasm coming up from Presto and Sheila. Thank you, Mary. It's a good bit of a character writing.
Very convenient tunnel.
Yeah, that leads out into.
Jeez, it's good we went into the waterfall at a cave and led out of that.
And then a little giggle there from Sheila.
Coquettish giggle.
Yes.
Yes, very.
Oh, the nightmare.
See, and Dungeon Master obviously knows the girl's power is great and vast, so he's got to try and get her basically, which is the nice cut there from Venger's cape to Eric's, which tears on the.
And those rocks do look very, very
That's the
sharp.
thing. I always get the impression watching this one they actually do look like they. I think it's because it just cuts his cape like that. You think it must be sharp. So when what happens occurs, this is cool.
But lucky that they're not all over the floor, so they can just walk around.
Don't see Venger, but you know it's his handiwork.
Yes.
How do you know it's Venger? He's got one arm. Plus he's got wings and he looks like Venger. So
They
my-
should
Bit
have
of a
been,
giveaway.
they should have all been beheaded or cut to shreds at this point.
That's right.
The rocks flying everywhere.
Unfortunately, the rocks have turned into tiny little bits from looks at the threats.
Oh my eye.
Freddy, what is it? He wants us to follow him. Come on.
It's worth mentioning that the dog's called Freddy, and there's that possible link that Freddy and the Dreamer.
What?
Oh, yeah.
Freddy and the Dreamer.
Clever.
Huh? Where are we?
It can't be.
Yeah,
Oh, the
where
wings.
indeed?
I saw
Yeah.
this last night. My
That's a good. I like that.
That's
I like
good.
good artwork.
It's very.
But that makes it look like it's taken them a couple of years to get there.
That shiny thing on the other side? I dreamed about that too.
Really? And what did Mr. Sandman tell you that was?
Watch your mouth, Eric.
I'm sure.
It's some kind of magic door. You get in it.
There's some good scenes kind of where they're in the maze and you get to see people pushed to the limit, so to
Yeah,
speak.
the mind control
That's
aspect of
right.
it is really powerful.
And who's the one who wants to leave as always? It's Eric, and he ain't gonna go
Well,
nowhere.
he's sensible. I think
Yeah.
cowardice is just
Yeah.
another name for sensibility. I'm going to get hurt. I'm going over
Yes,
here.
self-preservation.
Discretion is the better part of valor.
Oh, sorry. He's protecting her.
Oh, it's, you can
Melt
see
it
the moment.
shut. 3 guesses who did it.
Let's talk about the possibility of bringing more characters into the series, because you've got this stable cast of characters, and they sort of go on in each episode, and they'll meet somebody. Do you think there were ones that possibly could have come back more often? I mean, we looked earlier at the episode Servant of Evil with Strongheart in it. That's definitely a character that I think could have been brought back for other episodes, and for less reliance on Venger as the stock villain. There was Kellic from Valley of the Unicorns, who was a sort of conniving sorcerer. Perhaps
Oh,
he
Hank
could have
saves
been
the
brought
day.
back.
I think the problem is that you got a cast so vast anyway that any guest cast kind of like just fall into obscurity anyway.
I mean, there
Here
is
we
the
go.
suggestion that Terry comes back, when they all get home.
That's right, yeah.
You know. I'd like some more of Karina, because I thought she was quite an interesting
Venger's,
character.
Venger's sister.
Yeah.
There's a cool scene coming. This is good. Eric loses it, and you think, "What's wrong, Eric? What's wrong, Eric?" Wicked. Look at
Yeah,
that.
it's
Two
so good.
tones. That's just
Sometimes we all get a little bit mad.
a little bit crazy.
Cabin fever.
This is just so cool. Look how evil that looks. I love the pure evil insults, and they don't get much more evil than this.
When he brings out the worst in their characters,
That's
Bobby's
right.
aggression,
That's
Eric's
right.
sarcasm, and
Presto's
Ketchy-
like-
oh,
I'm enjoying what I'm seeing.
Of course,
you need just go.
whining.
What's going on?
I like those
the
two.
girls, yeah.
Barney.
And this idea of Hank still trying to keep hold of it
Yeah.
and
Hank the hero.
stop.
I found my arrow. Everything's over. There's it's great in the way Bobby and Eric's still tussling. Oh,
Hey, would you not wrinkle the goods?
wrinkle the goods. Eric's style.
What you'll hear Dungeon Master allude to later is that these warriors that he sent in were former pupils of him. In this series, we didn't necessarily get a lot of flashbacks. A lot of stories are told of old quests and stuff. But Maybe it would have added a little bit of depth to the struggle between Dungeon Master and Venger if we had perhaps seen some of those battles, like between sort of Dungeon
true.
Master's former pupils.
And it also would have fleshed out this idea of, is Dungeon Master benevolent or is he ambivalent? And what role does he play? If he has brought more people in, how come they're all dead?
That's right, yeah. You did a very good job, didn't you, the big DM? This
is
it.
lovely.
This is the best dream. One of the best scenes of the series.
Yeah.
I'm just going to sit back a second. Terry's still in there. Oh.
Here is his child again, no responsibility.
Look at that. That's cool. That's the payoff. Did you lose something? And you think, oh, it's happy. Close up. Great cut.
Brilliant.
And to me, this may just be me, but I think Terry looks more in proportion than Bobby does. Bobby kind of looks kind of short and squat.
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. I seem to have drawn her better.
Terry appears to be taller. If you had one shot of Terry, then another shot of Bobby, you'd think that Terry was maybe sort of like was a head above him.
Speaking of shorties, here's Dungeon Master.
Yeah.
Tell us his latest scheme.
Yes. Dungeon Master, the animal lover.
The promise of the portal home. Many have tried, all have failed.
That explains those suits of armor.
All that remains of a band of brave warriors.
Dungeon Master was played by Sidney Miller, who I believe acted mainly in the 1930s as a young man, and died in I believe in the last few years. And he was a very sort of prolific actor on TV and screen. Nothing majorly famous, but he worked very often throughout his career. He offers this sort of wizened role to Dungeon Master, and is eccentric enough to be likeable without being so strange that you think, what's this guy on about? He's just humorous. He's got that element of humour. He just turns up. He slightly irritates Eric.
That's interesting. That thing where Hank, who should know better and should know that Dungeon Master's not there, is to be pulled away by Presto. It's kind of Hank's misplaced, heroic streak again.
What about Dungeon? Yes, I could.
They're going for the home run.
And do they just make it out?
Just about.
Thank goodness for that.
I love the way this is a great moment because it all goes quiet and they're all so happy that they're actually going to go home, and then you cut to Bobby and there's a great close-up where he's like smiling. You think, oh, and then he just looks angry. You think, what's he looking at? What's he looking at? Who can it be?
Who could it be?
It's the big V.
That's fantastic.
Good wingspan. Look at that.
He does a good entrance, doesn't he?
It does. I mean, he is.
And a good exit as well.
Such a good villain.
Yeah.
It's not a very good exit for him though, because he ends up getting blown up.
That's true.
You've spoiled it again, haven't you?
We didn't see that one coming.
I always like the scenes. I mean, we see this in the Dragon's Graveyard. The scenes between Hank and Venger and that interesting parallel.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That Hank potentially could be another Venger because he has this leadership role that could so easily just eat him alive and dominate him, turn him.
It's the goodness of the 1980s, the morals of the
Very
instilled in-
pro-social.
Yeah, that's right.
Somebody's got to stay and put that maze out of commission.
Whatever you're doing, Presto, hurry it up!
I love the mousetraps.
There's a cool scene, kind of. It's like the very slightly romantic scene between Bobby and the girl who dreamed tomorrow.
Wait! We gotta wait for the others!
This is cool. I think it's the fact that good effect. Look at the wind there. 2 different speeds. Terry's blowing faster.
And he could just so easily decide to jump straight in there with
Oh,
her.
that's right, yeah.
But no, we've got to stay. We've got to put this place.
I love the way he
out of commission.
carries her though. It's like oh,
Yes.
so sweet. Look at that. He doesn't have to.
Aw.
He carries her, and Union and the dog follow, creating that kind of mirror image.
I also wanted to say that the creature that Venger summoned up, I think it looks like a really sort of bizarre and really twisted version of Dungeon Master, because he's got like the red and he's got the long wizened hair and
Yeah, it does.
I love Eric.
bald
Watch.
head.
Boom! Hits the floor. Starts running.
Such a klutz.
This is a great plan. I love this.
Yeah.
It's just a pure.
This just came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Eric, baseball time with his shield. Dong. Oh my boy, bush.
This is a great explosion.
That's right.
Really
He's
good.
gone. Doosh.
it'd be nice.
Borders
to
on
know Bobby
Akira
was
style.
Yeah. There's one thing that I've learned about this show is they know how to do good explosions.
Good explosions. Oh, possibly one of the most poignant endings coming up where
Yeah.
you get a bit of a lump in your throat. Hey.
What could have been? What still could be?
Yeah, what still could, and what probably will be, but we'll never know. Oh. Sorry, such a sweet scene.
You don't want to do
It is.
that?
Yeah? Why not? You think I like being reminded she's gone? I don't want to keep this thing.
Bobby will come to them, as I'm sure we all have. It's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all.
Wiser words, Mr. Newman.
Before you destroyed the Maze of Darkness,
Here we go.
Teddy had
Dungeon Master here is saying that she had her final dream, and he obviously doesn't tell us what the final dream was, because we'll know when they get out and everything. But I like the way Hank walks across and he's like, Bobby, he's in a really bad way, and then he comes running over the hill screaming. And I presume he did tell the rest of the gang what occurred, but it's such a great ending. They even do slow motion in animation.
Yeah.
They try their best to.
And these looks of shock are
That's
just
right, yeah.
fantastic.
Wait till you hear. Yeah!
Ding.
Oh.
That's beautiful,
That's
man.
so lovely.
And that was The Girl Who Dreamed Tomorrow, big fan favourite.
Marianne actually on the internet has got a website devoted to The Girl Who Dreamed Tomorrow, so if you liked that, it might be worth checking it out.
I think I will have to do that myself, to be honest. So yes, we'll be back for the next episode.
Volume 3.
Volume 3. See us then.
Bye.
Bye.
Listen to us. Bye.